All right, that this Committee of Adjustment meeting held on August 24th, 2022 come to order at 7:03 p.m. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Okay, moved by Vanderwielen, seconded by Cooney. All in favor? Carried. Okay. In the absence of Chair Gannon and Vice Chair Kennedy, Member Webster has volunteered to chair this evening's meeting. I have a motion that Member Rick Webster be appointed to the position of Chair for the August 24th, 2022 meeting of the Committee of Adjustment. May I have a mover and a seconder? All right, moved by Vanderwielen, seconded by Cooney. So all in favor? Perfect, so that's carried. So at this time, I will pass the meeting over to Chair Webster.
Thank you, Secretary Treasurer. As a stand-in chair, I'll ask for forgiveness and whatever else you need to give me should I go astray here. So this is my first opportunity to do this with much pleasure, I might add. So we shall proceed with the disclosure of pecuniary interest. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest this evening? Seeing none, I will let the record show there are none. Previous minutes that the Committee of Adjustment minutes dated July 27, 2022 be adopted as presented. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Vanderwielen. Carried. We shall move forward to applications. Welcome to this Committee of Adjustment meeting to allow the public an opportunity to express their views regarding the proposed minor variances and consents within the Township of Springwater. Each applicant and their agent, if applicable, will be given the opportunity to present the applications to the committee and public. Additional information on each of the applications, including any presentation materials, is available in the committee agenda on the Township website. Following these, members of the public who registered to make oral submissions prior to 5:30, August 23rd, will be given the opportunity to do so. All oral submissions will be included in this meeting's minutes and form part of the public record, including the name, address of the speaker, and information collected information collected under the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. The minutes of the meeting will be posted on the Township's website. All comments or questions should be addressed through the chair. Application number 1, please. Will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the first application, item number 4.1 on the agenda? I believe you're muted, Secretary.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
Item 4.1 on the agenda is minor variance application A3222 submitted by B and W Horace, owner of lands known municipally as 2783 Old 2nd South. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of an 80.27 square meter addition to an existing detached accessory building, garage, on the subject lands. The proposed addition will exceed the maximum height provisions of zoning bylaw 5000, and when combined with the area of the existing detached garage and shed, will exceed the maximum detached accessory building area permitted. The applicant is seeking a maximum total area of accessory buildings and structures of 210.34 square meters, whereas subsection 33.3.14.1H permits a maximum of 115 square meters, and a height of 4.7 meters, whereas section 3.7.5B permits a maximum height of 4.5 meters, or the height of the dwelling, whichever is the lesser.
Have any additional correspondence and/or comments been received?
Written comments were received from Mark and Aaron Greatrix of 2795 Old 2nd South on August 19th, 2022 in support of the application. The manager of Roads and Fleet, the drainage superintendent, and the director of finance all stated no concerns.
Can I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide comment, if any?
Oh, hello, can everybody see me?
Yes, we can, Michael. Carry on.
Thank you. My name is Michael Dupuy, pardon me, also known as A-Draft. I representing the homeowners on this application. There's really nothing to add of significance other than we did our best to basically get the homeowner what they're looking for and try and keep it as a nice tight package for the visual aspects of the two structures from the road. I don't foresee it being any kind of a visual issue. It's, like I say, the application pretty simple. So I think that's all I really need to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dupuy. Are there members of the public registered to make an oral submission?
Chair, there are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. Do any of the members of the committee wish to comment or have any questions or concerns regarding the application? Seeing none. May I have a motion for application? Oh, saying none, I have a motion. I have a motion for application A3222. That the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the application provisions of Section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of the land in question and its surroundings, as addressed in the planning report and on the application dated August 24th, 2022, the correspondence received and the information presented at the hearing held on August 24th, 2022, and the discussion on the matter hereby approve application 3222 as applied for. May I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Vanderwillen. Motion carried. We shall move on to 4.2. Will Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application, item number 4.2 on the application, on the agenda.
Thank you, Chair Webster. Item 4.2 on the agenda is minor variance application A3322, submitted by S. Athill, owner of lands known municipally as 59 Gibb Avenue. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of a detached accessory building, a pool shed. The shed is proposed to be approximately 18.92 square meters, 203.7 square feet in area. When combined with the ground floor area of the existing structures on the subject lands, results in the exceedance of the maximum lot coverage permitted. Proposed addition will exceed the maximum lot coverage at 25.95%, whereas section 4.3.8 permits a maximum of 20%.
Thank you. Have any additional correspondence and or comments been received?
Yes, the manager of roads and fleet, the drainage superintendent, the development engineering coordinator, and the director of finance all stated that they have no concerns with the application.
Thank you. May I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide a comment, if any?
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and this is my husband, Eric. We are the homeowners. We don't really have anything to add in addition to what Treasurer Berenger said, but we would like to thank you for your time coming here tonight and reviewing our application.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make an oral submission?
Thank you. There are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. Any members of the committee who wish to comment? Seeing none, I have a motion A3322. Of the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the application provisions of Section 45 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of the land in question and its surroundings as addressed in the planning report on the application, dated August 24th, 2022, the correspondence received and the information presented at the hearing held on August 24th, 2022, and the discussion on the matter hereby approve application 3322 as applied for. May I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Vanderwillen, seconded by Cooney. Carried. Decision is taken as carried. All in favor? Yes, I guess we did that, didn't we? It's kind of a small crowd here, so asking for movers and seconders and so on is an interesting evening. Thank you. We shall move on to application number 3. Will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application, item number 4-3 on the agenda?
Thank you. Item 4.3 on the agenda is minor variance application A3422, submitted by Jay Riley, owner of lands known municipally as 2262 South Ore Lake Road. The purpose and effect of the application is to permit the construction of a new dwelling on the subject property. The applicant is seeking a minimum interior side yard width of 1.58 meters on both sides of the dwelling, whereas section 14.34C requires a minimum of 2.5 meters on the one side, and section 14.3.4E requires 4.5 meters on the opposite side.
Thank you. Has any additional correspondence and/or comments been received?
Yes, comment was received from the Director of Finance stating that development charge credit would be applicable for the demolition of the existing dwelling and the credit would be applied toward the new dwelling. The Manager of Roads and Fleet and the Drainage Superintendent stated no concerns with the application.
Can I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide comment, if any?
Hi, everybody. Sorry, let me see if I can get the video working. Video will work. Hi, I'm Jason Riley. I've been going up to that area my whole entire life and look forward to the decision so that I can move my family back there.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. Are there any members of the public registered to make an
There it
oral
goes.
submission? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
There you
now it
are.
works. Now it works.
Now you are.
Sorry.
You handsome devil, you.
Right?
Are there any members? Thank you,
Thank you.
Jason. Are there any members of the public registered to make an oral submission?
Thank you. There are no members of the public who have registered to make oral submission.
Thank you. Are there any members of the committee that wish to comment or have any questions or concerns regarding the application? Member Cooney?
Yes, through the chair to the applicant, I have a couple of questions for you. I'm a little concerned with the 5 feet or 1.58 meters that you will have on the side yard area. My first question is, where is your well proposed to be?
The well would be in the front. You see where the cabin is, right at the front where the walkout basement is. It'd be on the right-hand side of there.
So when you say the front, is that towards the
Water
lake?
side.
Towards the
Water side. Yeah.
So are you planning to drill the well and have the well installed before you build your building?
Correct.
Because you wouldn't be able to have access to it with any vehicles to do such work.
Right. And the way that there's a big hill there, so it'd be right on top of the hill, but no, it would be done before that. It's actually scheduled, I think, in October.
I see. Okay. The other question I have is, again, well, is the drainage, a majority of the lot will drain from Ore Lake Road to the lake. Are you going to be able to convey the drainage that comes through your lot out to the lake in
Yes.
those areas?
Yes, of course. I will have drainage dug in there and whatever is necessary to get it done. My friend's a landscaper, so he'll put drainage in on both sides, pipes dug underneath by the fence to allow the drainage to go down.
Okay, and my final question is on the mapping that was shown, there's a part 1 plan 51R. It's hard to read here, but I think it's 38242. Can you explain what that is? Is that an easement?
I'm not sure, sorry. I'll have to say that again.
It is shown on the east side of your lot.
The bunkie?
No, it's on your plan. It shows
Okay.
part of the reference plan. It says part 1, plan 51R dash, and I think it's 38242. And that runs along the entire east boundary of your property. I'm just wondering what that is and if it.
Oh, a fence. I think you're speaking about the fence.
No, on your reference plan,
Sorry, I don't have it up in front of me. I'm sorry.
on your legal plan, it
Yep.
indicates a part on your legal plan. I'm asking what that is. Perhaps staff might know?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you'd be referencing. I'd have to look it up and
Thank you, Member Cooney. I do note the part you're referencing on his site plan. So the applicant is not aware of any easements and he did not know any in his application form. However, if it were to be determined that there is an easement, he would have to ensure that that was maintained on it, regardless of the committee's decision tonight.
So just in that regard, obviously the proposed building encroaches into that easement.
We don't.
What could you explain in that reference then how he would address that?
Sorry, Member Cooney, it has not been confirmed that there is an easement. The applicant is not aware of an easement. It was not indicated in the application form. I'm not sure what the part 1 on the reference plan is referencing, whether it's a former part of a alternate parcel or what have you. I'm not an Ontario land surveyor or lawyer to
I know.
determine.
Sorry. I know what you're, years ago, my father bought an extra 10 feet off the neighbor. That's what you're looking at, the line going all the way down. So that was our old property line back in, I think my mother purchased an extra 10 feet back in 1991. And that's what that's showing there.
Okay,
And that would
thank
be
you.
accurate. It does show about 3
Yeah.
meters or on the plan.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to confirm that it was not an easement and that maybe we would need to defer till we found out, but he's clarified that. So thank you.
Member Van der Willen, please proceed.
Through you, Chair, just like when on the one side it says 1.58 meters, and then on the other side it says it requires 4.5. So what's on the opposite side? What side is the 1.5 and what side is the 4.5?
Planner Belcourt, please.
Thank you, Chair Webster, through you to Member Van der Willen. So the way the zoning bylaw reads is that it requires a minimum of 2.5 meters on one side and 4.5 meters on the alternate side if there is no attached garage. However, the applicant is requesting 1.5 meters on both sides of the dwelling. So they're varying the 2.5 on one and the 4.5 on the other.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Planner Belcourt. I also just have one comment or question. NVCA typically needs to be involved with respect to drainage and so on. So I presume that's you're aware of that, and NVCA will be involved, knowing once the building permit is underway. I see Planner Belcourt shaking her head. So.
Thank you, Chair Webster. They were circulated as part of this application. We did not receive any comment. Mr. Riley has also been in contact with their agency and is aware that a permit will be required from them as well.
Thank you. We wouldn't have that in a condition of a committee's decision, though, Planner Belcourt.
Thank you, Chair Webster. We would not require that as a condition, as we are unable to release a building permit without having that as is today, regardless of the committee's decision.
Thank you, Planner Belcourt. I therefore would sort of point out or recommend to the applicant that they make sure that that bridge gets crossed pretty soon, because I know they're pretty busy there and you might not hear back in a timely fashion.
I actually have been in contact with them, and I think the approval is just based on the zoning. I'm just waiting for the zoning approval, and then they'll send me the approval for it.
Fair enough. Okay, seeing no further further comments, I'll proceed with the motion. I have a motion for 3422, 3422, that the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the application provisions of Section 45 of the Planning Act and the official plan of the Township of Springwater and the characteristics of the land in question and its surroundings as addressed in the planning report on the application dated August 24th, 2022, the correspondence received and the information presented at the hearing held on August 24th, 2022, and this discussion on the matter hereby approve application 3422 as applied for. May I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Van der Willen, second by Cooney. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. And we'll proceed to application number 4. Chair, will the Secretary Treasurer, that's me. Will the Secretary Treasurer please introduce the next application item number 4.4 on the agenda?
Thank you, Chair Webster. Item 4.4 on the agenda is consent application B1222 submitted by J and A Smith, owner of lands known municipally as 12422 Floss Road 6 West. The purpose of the proposed consent application is to sever and convey approximately 0.42 hectares of land at 2420 Floss Road 6 West to the abutting property at 2422 Floss Road 6 west through the boundary adjustment process.
Thank you, Secretary Treasurer Barringer. Has any additional correspondence or comments been received?
Yes, comment was received from the drainage superintendent stating that the subject property is assessed into the Crossland Municipal Drain under Floss Bylaw 1714, and therefore a condition to satisfy the Drainage Act will be required. The manager of Roads and Fleet, the director of finance, and Hydro One all stated no concerns.
Thank you. Can I please have the applicant introduce themselves and provide comment, if any?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get the video up.
It's okay. We got lots of time.
I'm Amy and this is Jeremy Smith. We put in the application to adjust the property 50 feet to the west and 100 feet to the north, just for any boundary setbacks for future builds, as well as there is an old barn foundation on the Langman's property that you see from our property, and we just want to clean it up and make it look nice.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public registered to make an oral submission?
There are no members of the public who have registered to make an oral submission.
Thank you. Do any members of the committee wish to comment or have questions concerning the application? Seeing none. I have a motion for B1222. That the Committee of Adjustment, having given consideration to the application provisions of Section 53 of the Planning Act, the official plan of the Township of Springwater, the characteristics of the subject land and its surroundings as addressed in the planning report on the subject application dated August 24th, 2022, the correspondence received and the information presented at the hearing held on August 24th, 22, and the discussions on the matter, hereby approve the application B1222 as applied for subject to the following conditions: that the applicant satisfy all of the requirements, financial or otherwise, of the municipality, that the applicant provide 2 copies of the registered survey of the severed lands prepared by an Ontario land surveyor, that the owner applicant satisfy and be responsible for all costs to satisfy Section 65 of the Drainage Act 1990, if applicable, that the conveyed lands be merged with the benefiting lands known municipally as 2422 Floss Road 6 West, and that the applicant rezone the conveyed lands to agriculture exception consistent with the benefiting lands. May I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Cooney, seconded by Van der Willen. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if the committee is ready to move on. Okay, the Committee of Adjustment received the correspondence as attached, item 5.1 to the agenda, being an acknowledgement letter from the Ontario Land Tribunal regarding the appeal of minor variance application A422 and A1022. You have any discussion on that matter? I have one question. I don't know if that can be answered. I'm sorry, but Member Van der Willen, would you like to proceed with that?
Sorry, I did not see that 5.1 notice. So what were those two applications?
Perhaps Secretary Treasurer Barringer could give us that information.
Yep. Thank you, Chair Webster. So minor variance applications A0422 through to A10 2022 were the Huron Creek lot coverages.
Okay, thank you.
So as a refresher, the committee was asked to approve larger dwellings on 3 or 4 lots on the west side of the village. We had some concerns, as I recall, without looking at the minutes, regarding stormwater management, future applications for minor variances for landscaping, hardscaping, sheds, etc. going forward. and that there was concern that the future lots or any applications in the future may not be able to be approved based on the approval of these larger homes being approved to be built on these lots. And that's, I think, the sort of the crux of why we felt we weren't in a position to go ahead with the application. So it's been approved to LPAT or appealed to LPAT. The question I have is what is the next step? And perhaps this will go to Director Spagnell, but I guess the question would be, where does the municipality stand with respect to supporting the committee with legal representation or otherwise at LPAT on this application?
Thank you, Member Webster. As far as a position of the municipality, that hasn't been broached at this point as to where the municipality will stand with the appeal. This represents the acknowledgement of the appeal, and the municipality will have to take this into consideration in closed session. So the position of the municipality has not been determined at this point in time. What typically would happen is, because the appellant is bringing forward the case, therefore they would have to prepare a case in support to the tribunal for the proposed minor variances for the lot coverage on the 7 lots that were part of that subdivision. And then it's through that process that the tribunal will have to determine whether or not the variants are minor in that respect. So really the question of where council will go with either getting representation or not getting representation on the file still needs to be broached. And that's typically a closed session item that because it's subject to litigation and matters at the tribunal.
Thank you, Director Spagnell. Is it reasonable to assume that during that closed session, the position of the committee and the logic that was brought forth and why the committee declined the application will be brought forward in its entirety?
Chair Webster, the information that would be brought forward would be the decision, the minutes, and the reports associated with the application, along with some of the correspondence as it relates to that application. Staff wouldn't want to be in a position to go speak for why the committee made its decision. So therefore, it's really how the decision was written and what the decision states, what the rationale was for the committee refusing the applications. But all the information that the committee had, along with the minutes and the decision, would be included with any package that goes to council for consideration.
Thank you. So would you recommend the committee review the minutes to make sure that they are accurate as in terms of how we took the decision and the discussion that we had to take that decision? I wouldn't want it to be, if here's the, as you know, the problem that arises is that the planning department says we approve it, but then we don't, based on some other consideration of other facts. And we would, as a committee, I would think we would want to make sure that the council, because they appoint us as a volunteer organization, to make sure that we do present the residents' position on the matter, rather than just one side of the matter, or perhaps two. But there's a third side, which is the committee side.
Chair Webster, I would suggest that the YouTube videos are available for viewing, and the staff doesn't want to be put in a position where rewriting minutes and trying to recap key points of an event that occurred, and just going from memory, I believe it was, I don't know, I want to say it was 2-3 months ago, to try to recap what the exact rationale or reason was for the committee to refuse the applications. I think, if anything, what we would suggest to council, if there's any questions about the conversation that ensued regarding the applications, the committee meeting videos are public. They're open for viewing. And really, I think they provide the context and the rationale for where the committee was coming from on, on every application. So I think if anything, it would probably be worthwhile for staff, and we can definitely do this, to direct council, if they so wish to do so, to view to review the video on the matter, and they can get the context from reviewing the video of that particular meeting and that particular item.
Thank you, Director Spaglin. I think that's, engineer said yes. And I think the committee was, we're going, okay, so it's not straight, it's not a straight line, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think our debate and our questions were worthy, and I would really hope that the council, rather than anything else, that they actually listen to the discussion and make them make up minds based on what we heard, not just what's a written report.
Seems a bit, I don't know, I think the appeal should be heard first, but that's the timing of the Planning Act, so.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Member Cooney. I think we've made our point here. Thank you, Director Spaglin.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any other business this evening? Seeing none, I'll ask for a sorry, Secretary Treasurer Berenger.
Yes, sorry, Chair Webster. We just needed a mover and a seconder for the item of correspondence to be accepted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Committee of Adjustment received the correspondence. It's moved by Cooney, seconded by Van der Willen. All in favor? Thank you. Is there any other business this evening? Request to speak, Van der Willen? Yes, Member Van der Willen?
Just, I want to make comment, Chair Webster did a very good job tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Member Van der Willen. But I got to tell you, I was also going to say Danielle did a super job of keeping me well informed on how to proceed, and I appreciate it, because I don't know what I've done without you. Thank you so much. As is the case with staff, period. It's just the way it works. Thank you very much, Danielle. Appreciate it. Okay, let's have an adjournment motion. The Committee of Adjustment meeting held August 24th is now adjourned at 7:37 p.m. Moved by, seconded by Van der Willen. Carried. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for your
Bye,
support.
Danielle.
Appreciate it. Thank you, and patience getting this whole thing working up.
Have a good night.